How you doing? Welcome back. And I'm Rick Bowman again. In this video, we're going to start the series of how to buy a car. And I'm going to divide this up into two different sections. What I like to call the science and the art. Okay? And we'll refer to the science as phase one. Now, here's what most of the teaching out there, when you go to figure out how to buy a car and you start looking for advice, the science is something that nobody focuses on. And when they do, they focus it on, this is what's going to happen to you. You better prepare. Okay? No, that's not the way we're going to approach this. Now, like I said, some of you are going to feel in the beginning that I'm taking this out of the dealership. I'm not. The purpose here is to understand how a dealership operates and profits. How does a dealer make money? Okay? If you can understand that portion of how a dealer makes money, believe me, you're going to be able to go into the art, which is the second phase, of how to control the entire sales process. And you're going to get it because you're going to realize where the possibilities come from. Okay? So let's start with, how do dealers make money? And I'm going to assume that you know absolutely nothing about the car business. Now, if a lot of what I'm talking to you about, you get it, then that's all fine and good. And you'll be steps ahead. But I want to start everybody off pretty much the same way. And this is how I teach friends and family, okay, on how to buy a car. We sit down and we have this conversation. So let's start with understanding how dealerships operate and create profit. You know, it's a subject that most people don't understand, and most of them don't even care how a dealership functions as a business. And that lack of understanding is really one of the most costly things in the long run. You may be thinking to yourself, you know, well, what's that got to do with buying a car? Okay, understanding how the dealership functions as a business, it provides insight for possible future motivations that the dealer may have for selling a car below cost, potentially saving you thousands. Okay, and this will apply to new and used. It's a little bit different, and when we start getting into new and used, I'll start separating out the categories in later videos. But essentially, let's talk about the overall operation. A dealership's operations divided into three segments or departments. The sales department, service department, and the parts department. Most of the people think that the sales department is the largest profit center for the dealership. And I'm speaking generally, but in most cases that isn't true. Most dealers will consider the service department the largest profit center. When you visit a dealership, take a look at the building, okay? Look at the amount of square footage that's devoted to each one of those departments in the building. Now, in most cases, the service department is allocated a pretty large percentage of that. The concept when you're putting up a building is dollar profit per square foot, and sales departments usually function as the profit center to cover the dealership's overhead. Now, a majority of the people think the sales department generates the most revenue, and in some dealerships that may be very well true. Most people also believe that there's thousands and thousands of dollars of profit in every vehicle on the lot. The truth is, you know, in today's market, it's really not quite true. Now, we're not going to get into talking about people that have been on Edmunds, and I know about the holdback, and I know about this. You know, let's stop. Let's just start with the basics. We'll get into holdback later, okay, and what holdback is and how it actually works. But the truth is that when you're in looking at, say, like the average new car, okay, like a four-door economy car, there's approximately $600 profit from MSRP to invoice, okay, on that car. Now, I know, hold back, okay, but let's not worry about that at the moment. We'll get into that later, okay? So, trucks, you know, yeah, there's usually anywhere between $1,600, and I've seen it as high as $4,000, okay, on some of the well-equipped trucks and SUVs that are out there. So, you know, that's where the gravy money is in those vehicles, or the larger SUV types. I guess, you know, with the sales department, most dealerships consider that to be gravy. And the sales and the parts department actually exist to feed the service department operation, okay, which is mostly known as, like I said, the backbone. So how's profit created in these departments? Well, let's start with the sales department because that's where our focus is and that's what we're interested in doing. I kind of like you to think of the sales department as a type of investment, similar to like the stock market. You make an investment in different stocks, okay, in different industries, and the goal is to create profit, and you're hoping to buy low and sell high like everybody else is. Not every stock that you pick is going to accomplish that. Some of those stocks are going to lose money. And in some cases, you may sell them off at a loss. You may take what's left, okay, and reinvest that in another stock and hopefully realize a profit, right? Okay. Well, the sales department in a dealership is very, very similar to that. Instead of stocks, the dealer's going to invest in vehicles, okay, or what the automobile business refers to as units. And they'll buy all sorts of different types of units, cars, trucks, SUVs, anything that they feel works based off of a past sales performance, or what a dealership refers to as a sales model. What sells at that particular dealership? And every dealership is going to have a different type of sales model, okay, based on past trends. New units, okay, are going to be allocated to the dealer from the manufacturer, okay, using that sales model. Used units are obtained from various sources like auctions. They're taken in on trade. And again, they're going to have their own individual sales model. Now, not every sales model is perfect. There could be shifts in what they call customer needs, okay, such as unanticipated rises in gas prices, like what we're going through at the time that we're making this video. Prior to that, the old sales model, or the sales model that they were using, maybe said that, hey, we need trucks and SUVs, that's where most of our market is, but all of a sudden it dies off, okay, because of the gas problems. So those proven performers aren't performing right now because of some shift in the market, okay? But what if the investment was already made? What if you already bought them and they're sitting on the lot, okay? Well, usually what happens is that unit will sit on the lot and waits for a buyer, okay? And the longer that the unit sits on the lot is the less potential profit that the dealer's going to realize. Vehicles are a little bit different than stocks because they're depreciating assets. That's what they're considered to be. They constantly lose money from day one. New, as well as some units, like used, okay, are financed, or what are termed floored units, okay, through the dealership's bank. A flooring dealership would be like Ally Bank, who was formerly GMAC, Ford Motor Credit, Toyota Motor Credit, American Honda Finance. Those are flooring banks. Even Chase has their own division for flooring dealers. Now, these flooring banks finance the units for the dealers. There's usually a grace period, and it can vary depending on their flooring agreement. But let's just say like it's 60 days. Okay, well, if the grace period is 60 days, that means that there's no payment due on the inventory that's sitting on the ground at the dealer's lot. This gives the dealer time to sell the unit, make a profit, and pay off the flooring bank when the unit's sold. If it goes beyond the 60 days that we're using in this example, the dealer's going to pay a flooring charge against that unit. This would reduce the amount of profit that the dealer was anticipating from that particular unit that they had floored. Whether it's new or used, this cycle continues, and it continues month after month. Flooring charges being applied to that specific unit that continues to sit on the lot, all due to some unanticipated rise in gas prices in the example that we're using here. But that's not the only thing that really occurs. Remember, vehicles are depreciating assets. As time moves on, these units continue to remain on the lot. They continue to lose value. This applies to new units as well as used. So I want you to think about something for a second. If you were a dealer, could you possibly be motivated, just like you were in the stock market, to find a buyer for that vehicle and get rid of it? It's losing money. Okay? Would it be maybe safe to say that you might even take a loss on that unit, okay, to avoid maybe a potentially larger loss down the road? That'll give you something to think about, okay? And we're going to pick this up. We're going to discuss this in more detail in the next video. If you are not on our website watching this, where you want to do is you want to go to our website, www.howtobuyacarwithrickbowman.com, and you want to click on the section under How Do Dealers Make Money under the Pages section. And the next video will be video 2 on How Do Dealers Make Money. And thanks for listening. We sure appreciate it. See you in the next video.